in that sense of things.
Yeah. And so last year was my hair, and my thing was like really clearing out my sinuses. I was like really tired of having clogged up sinuses. And this year, well, seeing as my chest is back in the picture, this year it's like, okay, like really dealing with this lung story. Oh, I got ribs on lung story.
I felt like that was so appropriate. This was conscious or unconscious, I don't mind, I love it.
Yeah.
And so you recently have been looking into Louise Hay, right? What have you been feeling with that kind of with Louise Hay? How have you been feeling about that sort of world? What's your feelings?
Yeah, I basically, with my hair already, I was like, there's something attached to this that I need to move through and work through. Like not just necessarily like physical body stuff, but emotional body and spiritual body and all the bodies. So yeah, and it was funny that day. It was like you and another person sent literally this was you, yeah, you're the same morning. I was like, okay. And I actually, in this notebook, I went through this. I don't know if it was you or the other friend who sent me the article. I went through the entire list. It was a very long alphabetical list.
Yeah.
And I wrote down like all the ones that apply to me and all the things that they say. It's like, oh, 1, 2, 4 pages.
I mean, I totally resonate with Louise Hay. She really, when I have a physical manifestation, she's the first source I go to. I feel like what I've been practicing with my clients and myself over the last few years is really getting deeper than that. Like the affirmations I feel are incredible, and like what she's listed for me, just that, you know, like they're spot on. But from my experience, which again is just my experience, so take what resonates, it's that underneath all of the like the allergies. I know you probably won't have time to have listened to my voice note, so I'll kind of summarize what I said. Like I have been through such an experience with my health in that way. Like I used to have asthma, eczema, like my skin was always really, really bad. I had like really bad acne as a teenager, like mental health. I was on depression, anxiety, even though I was like a super fit and healthy. Like I did ballet, I was quite musical, like relatively like well liked. I never got bullied or anything. Like do you know what I mean? Seemingly so, everything was like just normal. But in terms of my body, and I had allergies to literally life. Like I was allergic to pretty much everything, cats, dogs, like the sun sometimes, like nuts, pulses, lentils, peas, bananas, like everything that is now my diet I was allergic to. And what really shifted my perspective firstly was the awareness that I could change my body, which I think you already have, to be honest. You already have that awareness. But it was like deepening that, do you know what I mean? Like placing that trust and just like taking it so deep within the body that actually I was like eating. I mean, I've been doing this subconsciously since I was about 16, I think. When I first went traveling to Peru, I was like eating peanuts even though I was allergic, and I was like trying to like control my body. I had no idea about any of this, but I'd been doing these like hypnosis meditations for the last few years of like, I can make your body healthy. So like this has been an ongoing journey for me. So I resonate, A, with the frustration, B, with the fear, and C, with how much it can dominate your life, because it really did for me. You know, I was so controlled with my diet. I was so controlled with what I put into my body. And actually, when I first sort of gained the empowerment in the story sense, like when I was first starting to say, yes, I can change my body, I can change my mind, I can change my perception, then all of these studies came into my awareness, which you might already be familiar with, so please shut me up if you are. But that for example, there was someone with bipolar disorder or multiple personality disorder, I think it was. And in different personalities, he had different physical ailments. And in one, he was completely healthy. No, like brain scans, completely different, everything completely healthy. And it's like the sheer shifts that and perception shifts that we can make are like they're phenomenal. Like I have no allergies anymore, like none at all. And for me, every time I eat something that I used to be allergic to, it's a fucking victory. And it reminds me that this stuff is so real. Like my power of belief is so strong now, because it's like I've actually lived it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, that the important thing is to find those stories in our own life. So say, for example, you have got an allergy that you used to have, but you don't have anymore. Or do you have things that you did? Do you know what I mean? Like, have you come, what's the range that you've worked through, and really like honing in and focusing on how far you've come in that sense. And also like you're sat opposite a mirror right now who has gone through her own journey, and it's obviously it's an ongoing journey for all of us, but you know physically it's possible. Like you've seen it be done, you have that conscious awareness. So the more we sort of merge those two parts of you together in this moment, like the deeper the confidence. My friend
Lillian also had gone through a journey, so it was like that mirror too. Exactly. And so the one narrative that I was working on last year and still working on is that I'm not that sickly child anymore, because when I was a kid, like it was like I have so many memories of getting rushed to the emergency room in the middle of the night to go on the nebulizer. So many memories of just being like deadly high fevers, like hallucinating in bed. And then the other narrative is like I ended up in hospital, I think around when I was 11, I was saying. And when I was in hospital, the doctor said, like, because I love cats, and I used to have loads of cats, and that's what we had at home. And then the doctor was like, before she comes out of the hospital, you have to get rid of all her cats, and she can't have cats ever again.
But now
and so for the rest of my life, I never had cats. And we had dogs and things like that, but they always had to be outside because to keep them out of the house and that kind of thing. And then the last few years, I was like, I really want a cat. And then one day in a breathwork session, I had this vision of this cat curling up. Oh, sorry, it went dark. Curling up. I was like lying in, I don't know, I can never say that word, Boston or whatever the word is. And the cat like curled up on inside of my arm here in the breathwork. But before that already, I was like, I want a cat. Like, I don't want to live this life that I can't have a cat. Like, how can I love cats so much and not have one? It doesn't make sense.
So resonate.
And then Magic moved into my house. Came home one day. She was in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, well. And I was like, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with my allergies. Let's see what happens. And like, normally I would touch a cat and touch my eye and have a big fat eye. And normally I would like hold her and like hold a cat and get sneezy and snotty, and none of that happened.
Love it.
And then I was like, oh, maybe it's because of the outside living. So in the beginning, I like try to keep her out of my room. And then at nighttime, I was like, no, she can't sleep in my room. But now she's like sometimes sleeping in my room, sometimes not. And then when I started getting these asthma attacks, the story came back again. And I was like, oh, is it because of the cat? Is it because of what? But I spoke to my mom recently, and I was like, when I used to have the asthma attacks, or when I used to get sick, like, what was the relationship with my dad? And she was like, well, my dad used to work late a lot, And when I was sick, he would give me extra attention. And I was asking you this because the attacks literally came back at the same time that Shaheen and I were like really decided the separation. Like literally.
That's
and
amazing. As in, like,
yeah,
amazing.
So that's kind of, so that's why I was like, and then I was thinking to myself, you know, is it an attention thing that I want? Like, like I'm sick, so like now he's gonna feel sorry for me or whatever. So I'm still
It's not even
figuring.
conscious though, is it? Yeah, it's really funny that you mentioned this, because that's exactly what I mentioned in my voice note about myself. It was like a realization I had one day that people were really nice to me when I was sick. And actually I got my way, like I didn't have to go to school, or I didn't have to do this, or I could actually do what I wanted to do. And there are so many connotations associated with this, like keeping myself small in that energy. And I think that coming to terms with that in the way that you have, like just sort of being open about it and understanding it, I feel like that's almost the first step, isn't it, towards not happening, as it were, because having that awareness in and of itself, every time we have that reoccurring moment, it's good. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to be like, oh, okay, I know what that is. Or yeah, okay, maybe I'm feeling this way, so how can I give myself extra love? Which is what you're doing, you know, you're taking those steps anyway. So it's like, it's
I call it changing the narrative.
Yeah, it is. It's just changing the narrative. It's changing the narrative, changing your story, changing your resonance with that now, because it's maybe something that worked for both of us, but it's not something that we continue to resonate with. It's not something that is a place we want to put ourselves in. You know, we know more now than to be in a victim space. So maybe that's a good place to start.
It's super interesting, like how unconscious it is. Like,
I know, right? Crazy. And so connected, so powerful, like the impact and the movements it can have.
Yeah, like my mom said, she always uses this word that I don't really understand, but she was like, my chest is my Achilles. She's like, when I'm sad or I'm stressed or whatever, like, but it hasn't been like that for, like I was saying, like, I'm pretty sure it's like before I started traveling, like throughout my whole travels, I never really had an asthma. I've had like tight chest, but not like this, where it was like an attack. But yeah, she was saying like whenever I'm sad or stressed or whatever, like the first thing that would be affected is my chest. Oh, but in 5 rhythms right now, like, because it peaks and it was getting like really intense, and I was like dancing super intensely, and then I felt my chest start tightening, and then I told myself like, don't go for your asthma pump, because it was not enough, it was tight, and I just like held it and like breathe, slow down a bit, like deepen my breathing, did a bit of like tapping, and it went away. And I danced the rest of it, and I kept, like, after calming down, I still like pumped the rest of the way, and I haven't needed to take the pump. So
I love it.
That was good.
I love it. I feel like the gentle approach is always the best approach, you know, with ourselves. And also, like, even if this hasn't come up for a while, the heart is directly correlated with, you know, feeling love, being able to pump things around the body. The lungs, like, directly correlated with how we inhale life and we access breath, how we alchemize breath into our blood, and how those two symbioses happen together. And I feel like there's so much that we have stored away that is coming up for us to alchemize, for us to understand, for us to feel, and maybe to be soft with again, you know. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're behind or not where you do you know what I mean? Like all the work that you've done is not wasted. It's not like you're back where you were before. It's a revisiting moment to this point in time.
I see it as another layer. There was a layer, now there's another layer, and then another layer.
Yeah. Are you open and available for a little meditation?
Yes.
Can you hear me all right? The microphone's okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'd just like you to close your eyes. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just letting yourself get into a nice rhythm. Really deep. Inhale. Exhale. And if you're open for me to enter your energy field, I'd just like to ask for your consent to do so before I enter into your space.
Oh, can you just speak a little bit louder in the meditation voice?
No worries. Okay. I just wanted to ask if I have consent to enter your energy.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So if you'd just like to return to your breath, in through the nose and out through the mouth, in your own gentle rhythm. Now the first thing I'm feeling is a tightness down the right side of the chest specifically, and the lower back, or the back side of that. Like the right side of the body is quite strained. If you'd just like to continue your breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. There's a heaviness in the right arm at the top. And we have our arms and hands are an extension of the heart chakra. The energy flows out through this space. So this is a mirror or a reflection of the heart space, feeling heavy, of it feeling a little unable to give as much as it always can or usually can. Perhaps a need to rest from giving, a need to move through a story to create an upliftment of giving and receiving. And just returning to the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now following the movement up your arm to your shoulder, your right shoulder. And we're going to feel the mirror of the left shoulder. And there's a little block underneath the breast, the left breast, underneath the armpit. Just like a little energy block. We're just going to breathe into that space Slowing the energy down just a little, allowing it to move. And it's coming round to our back, to the back of the left-hand side of the chest. I felt something release in the left lower hip. And there's a tightness in the chest when we move into this space. So I'd like you to just take some really nice calming breaths. Just affirming, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. And now we're just going to allow this beautiful little energy to move around the chest area, the lungs, the chest in a circular motion, a spiral circular motion. And I'd like you to imagine golden sparkly light, just clearing, cleansing, and aligning this space inside of our body. Keeping that breath nice and deep, in through the nose, out through the mouth. We are so safe right now. Beautiful. I just felt a nice release from the left arm, releasing, allowing this into the body. Beautiful work, surrendering. And now the spiral motion is going to stop in the heart center. And we're going to imagine a little golden bubble. And as we breathe in, the bubble gets stronger. And as we breathe out, the bubble gets wider. Inhaling in, bubble is stronger. Exhaling, bubble is wider. Now we're going to take a really deep inhale on our next turn. And we're just going to hold it at the top. And place both hands over the chest, over the heart center. Holding the breath at the top. I'd like you to give your heart center a nice rub. Bless you. Bless you. Giving your heart center a nice rub. I am safe. I am healthy. I barely feel my body. I am in so much joy, so much bliss. All is aligned. All feels bliss. Nice exhale really slowly. And now gently breathing in your own rhythm. You can allow the hands to stop massaging. Keeping the breath continuous. Just a nice little affirmation for us both. I trust myself. I trust myself. I trust myself. Now we have this beautiful bubble that is actually surrounding us. And the golden bubble is releasing this beautiful energy frequency inside the bubble, resonating with our beings, healing, synergizing, catalyzing this health experience. This could be the moment. This right here could be the moment that changes our health for the rest of our life. And all it really takes is for that belief to really be there. That this moment right here, this is it. I'm healthy. I really get to release every single story, every single experience that has taught me otherwise. That is my power. Taking a nice deep breath in and holding. And as we exhale, the bubble is going to slowly lift, lift, lift. Continuously rising, 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 taking this story, this paradigm away to be alchemized. And as it moves up past our heart space and our chest, we just say, thank you. Thank you for this lesson. I am such a powerful being. I am the creator of my reality. And I'm so grateful for this experience. And as it slowly rises up past our heads, up through our heads, we can feel a lightness being left behind. Nice gentle breathing as the bubble slowly rises up through the mental body, clearing all these stories up, 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 up through the tippy top of the head. A little pop at the top of the head. Feeling the bubble moving up, 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 up. Feeling it still leaving its trail of gravity behind it, the weight of the story getting further and further and further away. Releasing it towards Source, God, Spirit. Allowing it to return to the One. And with our hand on heart, we say, thank you. Nice gentle breaths. And now, really embodying, feeling in the body, health. How delicious does this feel? How delicious do we feel? How light, how excited to wake up in the morning, how delicious it is to breathe, to run, to play, to jump, to dance, to be free, to feel free. We are free, we are free, we are free, we are free. We are free beings, free. Delicious breath, delicious breath. Freedom. I am safe, I am free, I am always me. I am safe, I am free, I am always me. I am safe, I am free, I am always me. Just gently tapping on the heart center as you do this, as you finish. Coming back into the body as your new healthy self. And I invite you to think of a symbol or a sign that will remind you of this declaration, this affirmation to the universe, something that you will see every day. Maybe it's your kitten, maybe it's a triangle, maybe it's a stop sign or a go sign, a green light or a banana or whatever it is. Maybe it's all of the above, but just keep these objects, these signs, these symbols in your heart, in your head, as we come back into the room, as we come back into the body, as we remember we wake up in this reality. This reality is where we choose to be. This reality is our home. This reality is our body. It is our temple. It is our being. It is everything we were born to be, and it is our birthright to be healthy. It is our birthright to be here in this body. It is our birthright to be free, to enjoy, to play, to dance, to experiment with life, and to use our bodies in this way. This is the power that we choose. This is the moment that we choose it. Taking a huge, huge, huge deep breath in through the nose, holding. Relaxing the body, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing everything, allowing more light, more light, more light, more light, more light into the body, more light into the body, more light, more light, more light, more light, everything you have, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it. This is where we're meant to be. 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 Allow it, allow it, allow it, allow it. Great job. Exhale. And now we're just going to gently bring our awareness to the legs, imagining a tree trunk and our roots growing down into the earth, into the core, moving quickly because we've grounded this before into the 5D crystalline earth grid. We are connected to the 5D crystalline earth grid. We are connected to the 5D crystalline earth grid. And we release all expectations placed on us from other dimensional spaces that no longer are conducive with the highest good of us, the highest good of all, and our new chosen story of health, of wealth, of thriving, of health, of wealth, of thriving, of health, of wealth, of thriving. This is our declaration. This is our choice. We choose to stay here, allowing the energy out the bottom of the feet, down the roots, into the core, into the connection that we have with this earth. Beautiful, keeping the breath nice and deep and consistent in your own way. And now, finally, just imagining our pillar of light surrounding us all the way down to the center of the earth, from oneness, the all of everythingness, into the core of the earth, through our energy fields, just upgrading, allowing the body to store more light, 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 more light. Everything is working out best case scenario. 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 And gently moving the body, moving the center of the body. Maybe circular motions. Maybe we move our arms a little bit, or our necks. Trying to keep the breath nice and consistent as we slowly enter the room again, making our way back here. Gently, 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 gently. And now exiting your energy field, You are closed, you are sovereign, you are aligned. Everything is working out best case scenario. Gently bringing our hands together in prayer position. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for this realization. Thank you for this declaration. Thank you for your trust, for your faith, for Source, for all that is and all that will ever be. Thank you. And so it is. Gently, I am open to receive. If you are, just allowing, just gently, if you are open to receive, just a little light energy, just confirm I'm open to receive. And we'll just close everything, make everything easy. Everything is working out. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. I don't know if you work with your chakras generally, but I would maybe recommend a bit of love to the sacral. We didn't really touch on her much today. She will have synergetic effects from everything that's happened already, but I feel like if you would be open and interested in sort of delving into that chakra, I feel like that's where a lot of the creation center is, as I'm sure you already know. So there's a little resistance to opening this space, and the root is very, very grounded, but it's also overactive, so that's creating an almost panicky effect. It's creating an I'm not safe. It's like, you know, if you spin something in one direction but then you stop it and you change directions for a little while, it's almost like it's doing that. It's like it's relatively safe. It's not like there's anything wrong. It's just it creates these waves of panic when there's a distortion, when there's like a switch in the energy field, when there's a switch in the energy center itself. And I feel like that can create that feeling in your chest and in your heart space as well, where you're really feeling like, oh my God, like this is it, I'm gonna die, 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 I'm gonna die. Do you know what I mean? Like that pure panic. The brain is doing what it does best, which is just creating the story itself, but there's also the energy centers involved that need to be realigned and just moved into correct adjustment. And once they are aligned in that sense, everything becomes so much clearer, so much easier, you know. And it's not like you're doing anything wrong at all. It's just, this is the journey, this is the journey, this is the journey, this is the journey. And we're learning, always learning about these little things. But yeah, that's what could come from this moment forth. That's what I would recommend.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I know that this is the moment. I know it is.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Really, really.
This is your moment. The thing is, when we readjust in this way and we have this confidence in this way, it's like every aspect of our life adjusts, you know. When we can create that loving space inside internally, it ripples, it ripples, it ripples, it ripples, it ripples. So we can expect it to become easier. You know, we can expect it to become better, in that sense of no physical story about what we think is better, because, you know, life has a way of readjusting us into what is actually best for us, even if it doesn't look like it. But that the energetic repercussions of what we've just created is an entirely different reality, not from necessarily changing the physical aspects of what you're doing, but the place from yourself in which you're doing them, the enjoyment that you can have in those moments. You know, not to say we don't get revisited by these energies, by these frequencies, but it can be that way. You know, that decision, when that decision is strong enough, when that moment has come, this moment has come, this moment has come, we believe, we believe, we believe, we believe, we believe, we believe, we believe. This is it. This is the moment. This has happened.
Create our own reality.
Right now we created it. This moment. Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. Always. And reaffirming that with the symbols, reaffirming that with the mantras, reaffirming that with conscious work on our energy fields, and really delving into that reality, delving into that world. Self-inquiry, yeah, it's self-connection. It's the thing that I'm most passionate about in this world, simply because it is the core of everything we experience, and it is our sphere of awareness. It is our sphere of control. It's such an important part of our life, and I would say probably the most important part, because once we get this place, in a place where we're strong, we're powerful, we're confident, money is here, love is here, relationships easier. We have those difficult conversations, we can have easier conversations, we can have things inside of ourselves happen and not worry, not be scared, not flap, not fuss, because we know, well, I can feel this part of my body and she feels all right, so I'm not going to worry. Like, I got COVID, right? And I was dancing around my garden with a hoop. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, COVID's the worst. Da, 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 da. The person who gave it to me was super sick in bed, like snotting everywhere. And then there's me with my hoop, like, yeah, everything's great. Just like, I get to spend all week in my room. I had a little spoon. I was like, little cheeky snifter. And just having such a great time, because we choose. And you're such a powerful being, and I feel like I don't have to tell you, I don't have to sell this to you, I don't have to move you from where you already are. I feel it's just an affirmation and a reinforcement of the fact that you can trust yourself to know what's right for you. You can trust the people that are right for you. You can trust the places that are right for you. You can trust the movements that are right for you. You know, if your body is saying, I want to move like this, but your heart is saying, oh my God, I'm scared. Or what if it causes an asthma attack? What if it does this? Do it. Trust your body. Slowly but surely build that trust. And it's like the moment we decide is the moment we remember who we actually are. And that moment can be in every moment. And it's a continuous moment. It's a continuous now that we decide, we make that decision again and again and again and again and again. And I believe it for you. I feel it for you. It's happened. It's happening. It's already happening. And I can feel things moving inside your being already.
I didn't notice I'm black.
I thought it was mood lighting. She's in the light. I suppose, is there anything that provides fuel to your old story that you have a concern over, or something that weighs on your belief that stops a full belief? If there's anything that you feel you could reframe in this moment, what's your new story for that thing, for that creation, as it were? If you would like to share, I'd love to hear.
I think, like, just what's been coming up in this moment again, it's just like really loving myself, like deeply loving myself. And the other thing that came up very strong and powerful and emotionally was that allowing the full life force to enter me. And yeah, I realized in that moment during the meditation that like I'm not allowing my full life force. Yeah, so loving myself and really breathing in that life force. Yeah.
Speak it to me like you're doing it now. I am what?
I am love, and I am full of life force.
And it's easy for me to breathe in my life force. It's easy for me. It's delicious for me. It's exciting for me.
I like that word you said, delicious.
Delicious. It's delicious for me to breathe
life
like
force
this.
Is delicious.
Love it, love it, love it. Give me more, give me more. Get your ball rolling. Tell me more about this deliciousness. Ooh, delicious. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more.
Yeah, when I say the word delicious, I just get tingles all through my body. Delicious tingles of life force. Yeah. That fill me up with joy and laughter and bliss.
I feel like the delicious word is a real kicker for you. That's like, honestly, that's given the most emotional response so far. That's good. Focus on that feeling. If we go into delicious for a second, if we feel the word delicious, this is what we've got the most meaning attached to, resonant frequency. So if we build off of that, so when we're creating our affirmation, when we're creating our role of the path of least resistance and most force, is something that feels really good to say, something that feels really delicious. So it's like you're kind of in this place in your body where you're like, I feel good, and like getting really into that space, like what's coming out of that space, and I feel like that's what I was talking about, the sacral, just really connecting in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and allowing that to kind of expand out like this beautiful flower and bring out all these words, all these frequencies, all these feelings that are just like, I'm so excited. You know, we all have those moments, and I feel like it's creating the conscious creation of more of that in the feeling scenario. It's just so much more powerful. If you would like to try now, I would love to see you in your element,
in my deliciousness,
in your deliciousness, queen. Deliciousness. Love it.
You mean like moving it, or just keep like talking it, or
whatever you want. Just show me a deliciousness. Show me the deliciousness. I want to see it. I thrive off it. It's my nutrients.
Oh yeah, maybe that the word deliciousness is like, it is connected to nourishment and, like you said, nutrients, like delicious love and delicious breath and delicious life force, and it's just like
yes,
like
yes,
like that.
It is delicious. It is delicious, like a little orgasm all the way through the body. I love it.
Yeah,
I think that's just like the most powerful place to create from, you know, even if we are experiencing other energies, or we have to affirm the reality that we've attuned to, and we're setting that intention, you know, like there's so much power in setting an intention beforehand. I know I've shared this before, but like I'm just reaffirming it because it's such an important part of life to say today is going to be delicious.
Delicious.
Tonight I'm going to sleep so deeply. It's going to be utterly delicious. It's like every little intention, every little energy that we're sending into the words that we're saying, that we're sending into the moment that we're creating, even if things don't go as we expect them to, it all of a sudden it just doesn't matter, you know. It's like, I feel delicious still, I feel okay. Or like we know we have a list of 1,000,001 things that we can do to feel those feelings again, to feel powerful, to feel strong, to feel authentically ourselves again.
Yes. Delicious. There was actually a very random man that I met in India. I was trying to find this temple, and like we were walking with, like, I was with the whole group, tour group, and this random guy in a car like stopped and was asking us where we're going, and we're like, oh, we can't find this temple. And he was like, jump into my car, I'll take you there. And we were like, okay. Like a bunch of us jumped into his car, and I thought like, oh, he'll just drop us off and go again. But no, he took us into the temple, showed us where to put, like he became our tour guide and like explained about the temple, literally tour guide. And then, you know, another thought is like, oh, he's gonna ask for money or da 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 da. And it's just like, no, he just purely did that. And the phrase he said was like, it was like about like really stopping and enjoying each moment so we don't miss any delicious moments in life.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. That's like that's why we're here, you know. From my perspective, where I choose to live my life, the main philosophy is, how can I enjoy each moment the most, you know, and how can I have the most fun? How can I have the most meaning, the most love, the most expansion, the most myselfness? Because obviously for each person it looks differently. But that when we have all our stories that are constantly in the creation process in our brains, we sort of we miss the moments, we miss the deliciousness, because even though we want to be present, and we sort of are, we're like half there, there's almost that like resistance to being fully in that moment, fully in our power, fully allowing that life force really truly into the body. And I don't feel like that's a you thing specifically. I feel like that's something I see a lot, feel a lot, and you know, I've noticed in myself as well. There's so many aspects where we can allow more love, more light, more deliciousness. You know, there's always room for that journey to be expanding, and that's the fun part, I think. Thank you for sharing that story. I love it. Enjoying life's delicious moments.
Yeah.
Well, my love, I'm going to pray you and just say thank you for gifting me your space, your time, your energy. It's been a pleasure. And this is your moment. This is your moment.
Thank you so deeply, deliciously much.
Deliciously.
It
really does
been
resonate.
a delicious moment. And yeah, I mean, you know, but I can't even express in words how grateful I am for you in my life, in my energy field. Even though you're like 1 bajillion miles away, I feel like you're right here.
Of course,
of
course. And same
so
to
much.
you. Same to you. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate being in the space, being in your space, being in your energy. And yeah, having the opportunity for us to all journey through this crazy life together. It's a pleasure. I can't wait to see what happens. Deliciously.
And thank you so much for graciously like offering this time for me. Really appreciate it. And
you deserve it.
It's beautiful. And I
you know where I am. Yeah, you know where I am. I'm sending the love, sending the good vibes. And you know, if ever you hear of someone who could do with my services, just be like, I know a chick. I know a chick. Let me send you her.
Yeah. Do you have like a website or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of things.
Yeah, I'll send you my Facebook. I mainly use Facebook. I've been using YouTube a lot actually to put let me stop recording because YouTube doesn't need to hear this.